thinking about you all day. You must have sensed that.
Well, you're rarely off my mind for more than 30 seconds.
You really are incredible. I saw the airplane dragging that banner through the sky.
You did? Mm-hmm. Oh, great. I was afraid you were going to miss it.
No, I saw it. Cheered me up enormously.
Well, you know, things are really coming together now with what people are doing. And...
No, mostly with what you're doing. Have you had any sleep at all?
I've had some, but look, don't worry about that. Listen to me. With the response that's coming in from all over the country, there's a lot of pressure mounting on our esteemed district attorney and Judge Cameron. It's not going to be long now.
Thank you. How are the children? Have you seen them?
Seen them. I had breakfast with them this morning. Now, I'll tell you something. They miss you a lot, but it sure hasn't dampened their appetites. I mean, those kids can put away some groceries. And from what Kim tells me, the many friends you have are constantly stopping by to see the boys, keep them busy, keep their spirits up.
I'm going to owe so many people when I get out of here.
No, you're not. You are just being repaid for all the nice things you've done for everybody over the years.
You know, Becky stopped by last night. She said that she's going to do a scene from Marco's movie today. I'm sorry I can't see her.
Yes, well, they're being very quiet about that with the press. I agreed to keep the Chronicle reporters away from them. Some strange things are happening, huh? Mimi came very close to being seriously hurt.
What happened?
Well, I don't know. It might have been an accident, but then again, it might not.
Don't they have any idea who's behind all of this?
No. Oh, another little bit of news you might be interested in. Katrina Carr came back to town with little Mary. Now, apparently she has an apartment someplace, but she's being very discreet about just where it is.
Has Jenny seen Mary yet?
I don't know. Well, listen, you know, since I've filled you in on all the motherly things and all the newspaper things, could I bring up something important?
That depends on how important.
It's important.
Oh, is that important? Go ahead.
Will you marry me? Well, I know this is lousy surroundings, but I expected a little more reaction than that.
I'm sorry. I'm in jail and you asked me to marry you.
Well, would you rather I hold off asking you until we were in happier surroundings?
No. And yes. I would be so happy and so delighted to be your wife.
I did hear you right. You did say yes.
Yes. I don't even know where those words came from. I had no idea what I was going to say until I said it. And you know something? I feel now as if I haven't got a problem in the world. And that's amazing, considering where I am and the trouble that I am in.
That doesn't mean you're wanting to reserve judgment until you're out of here, does it?
No.
Because I'll understand if you do.
No, absolutely not. You can't back out. Matron, you heard the question. You heard my answer, right?
Yes, I sure did, Mrs. Ryan.
And you'd be willing to testify in court for me, wouldn't you? See, she would, see?
That's not necessary. You made me so happy. When can we be married?
The minute I get out of here.
Why wait?
No special reason. Except this might create a problem here.
Yeah, but what if I could make arrangements for us to be married here? In one of the offices or in the chapel? And what about doing it tomorrow?
Why?
You know what? I think we should have our friend, Miss Van Druten, attend the wedding.
Are you out of your mind? No.
Vicki, even if she could help you get released?
Well, how could she do that?
Well, I'll have you released into my custody.
Don't be ridiculous.
No, I'm joking about that, but listen, I do have an idea. Just tell me that you will go along with whatever I set up.
No. Well, maybe. Within limits,
No,
maybe.
don't worry. Once I make all the arrangements, you'll still have the chance to veto the whole thing if you think it's too outrageous, okay?
Well, where are you going? 10 minutes are up.
I've got things to do, places to go, and people to see. I am going to make you a promise. I'm going to have you out of here faster than you had even imagined. And I'll tell you something else. You made me the happiest man in the whole world.
Request of you, and I hope that you will grant it. I am pleased to inform you that I have accepted Clint Buchanan's proposal of marriage, and naturally we would like to have the wedding as soon as possible. If you cannot see your way clear to making it possible for us to be married in more congenial surroundings by the simple expedient of releasing me, will you at least give your permission for our wedding to take place here in prison? I understand that such a procedure is not without precedent. I look forward to your favorable reply, etc., etc. What do you think?
Well, you don't waste a whole lot of time buttering them up.
Why should I?
Well, you're right. You're right. I find it hard being polite to the man myself.
Oh. You don't think it's too antagonistic, do you?
No. No, I don't. I think it's very direct and to the point, and I like it.
I hope he agrees. I don't know, though, being married in jail.
Vicki, this wedding could take place at the bottom of a mine shaft, and it would still be the best thing that ever happened to Clint Buchanan.
You're so sweet to say that, and I guess I feel the same. I just wanted it to be special. I've been fantasizing about this, you know.
Oh, you have?
Mm-hmm.
What kind of fantasy?
Well, I thought we'd get married at home with our friends there and the children, and I'd wear a beautiful dress, and I'd look just as pretty as I could for you.
You could not look more beautiful to me than you do right now. You know, I've done a little fantasizing myself.
Oh, tell me about it.
Getting ready to leave Bose, one of my reporters tracked me down. Seems he'd just been down to the courthouse, and everybody down there is buzzing about that letter you sent to Judge Cameron.
Oh, good.
Also, he saw Van Druten coming out of the judge's office. She didn't look real happy.
That's very good.
Smart money down there says that the judge would not dare turn down our request to get married.
Well, we can only wait and see what happens, right?
Yeah. Meanwhile, phone calls are pouring in to the Chronicle and the Banner. Wire services and all the big newspapers around the country are wanting permission to cover the ceremony.
Mm. In other words, we're about to become a bona fide media event.
Afraid so, sweetheart. With all the overtones of a three-ring circus.
Yeah. Feuding editors, wed and slammer. I like it.
Gonna upset you?
No. No. It's not exactly the dignified ceremony I thought we were going to have.
Well, don't give up hope yet. It still might happen.
Doesn't really matter. As long as we get married. That's important.
You know, I still find it hard sometimes to believe you really did say yes.
It took me long enough, didn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I love you.
Well, I certainly hope so. Because I love you. Now then, since it is a very good chance that we may be getting married in here, there are still some traditions that we can follow.
Mm-hmm.
For instance,
oh, Clint. It's beautiful.
well, if you'll just give me your finger through the mesh here, I'll see a...
Hey, what's going on here?
Oh, I'm sorry. It's an engagement ring. Would you like to check it out?
No, that's all right. I'm sorry. Didn't realize. Go on, put it on her finger.
Just one.
If this weren't so funny, I'd probably cry.
many for your thoughts.
I was thinking about my father, thinking what he would say if he knew we were getting married in prison.
Well, I can't answer that, but I'm pretty sure he'd approve of your standing up for press confidentiality.
Oh, I expect he would, and I expect he would approve of our getting married here, just because of the added pressures it puts on the authorities. But he'd have to think about it a long time.
Well, make a good story for our grandchildren.
Oh, Clint. Who ever heard of getting engaged without even a hug? That's what I get for being so stubborn.
Well, I'm glad you finally came to your senses.
Mrs. Riley, Mr. Buchanan, I'm sorry time's up.
Oh. Well, back to myself. At least I have my ring.
I'm afraid that's against the rules.
Oh, I forgot. I know.
For your own sake.
I know. All valuables have to go in the safe, so I think I'd rather give it back to you. Oh, do you have to give it back to him?
Go ahead.
Thank you.
Right.
Did Kevin enjoy my love with you?
Mm-hmm.
You know, when I told them that you were going to be their daddy, they were so happy.
I'm looking forward to it myself. I love you. I'll be back as soon as I can.
I'll be waiting for you. I love you, too.
I can't believe it. I mean, they wouldn't even let you keep the engagement ring?
Oh, no, but I understand that. There are a lot of women on my cell block who would have no compunction about knocking me over the head to steal it.
True?
Yeah. Even Eunice, who's usually harmless, has a tendency to, well, shall we say, borrow things.
What a mess. What a mess. Well, the only good thing I see out of this is that I'm going to get Clint Buchanan as a brother-in-law. I know he loves you.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to make a great father for your kids.
I know, he's proved that to me. Well, I'm happy to see you. I was hoping you'd have had a letter before you came to see me.
Oh, yeah, I did. I got it this morning.
You did?
Yeah.
Well, then I take it you're not interested.
Oh, no, on the contrary. I want the job. I just didn't want to bring it up yet, that's all.
So you do want the job?
I'd love it.
Well, good.
Listen, I can't tell you how happy it made me. I mean, it made me feel kind of proud that you feel I've got the stuff in me to write it.
Well, being an investigative reporter certainly fills some of your requirements, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's not bad. It's not a 9-to-5 job.
Mm-hmm.
Not chained to a desk. I have relative freedom, and to some extent, I'm my own boss.
To a very little extent.
Yeah, I know. I've got some things to learn.
Yes, you do, but I think you have a very natural flair for writing.
Thank you. Thank you. I guess it's in the genes. You got it, too?
Well, who knows? Maybe one day you'll make a very good editor. Father would be proud of that. What does Pat think?
Oh, Pat and Jimmy, they're just thrilled.
Jimmy?
Sure. Yeah, he helps us make all of our decisions.
Oh, you and Pat are pretty close to him, then.
Yeah.
What do you hear from his sister?
Well, Georgina calls us to find out how he is, tell us how she is, to let us know how the job is going, let us know she hasn't found an apartment. Not too much, really. It's just that after every time we talk to her, I can't tell you how relieved he is that she hasn't had him sent back to her, you know? Look, I don't even want to talk about that right now. What I want to do is bring us around to my subject, my story.
Well, sweetheart, I'm in no position to assign stories. You have to speak to Edwina or Briggs.
No, I know the story I want to do. I just need your permission.
Oh, and what might that be? Marie, I realize you can't predict anything, but surely from your experience with cases like mine, you must...
I have never argued a case like yours before.
All right. From your general experience as a lawyer,
My experience as a lawyer has taught me only one thing, Vicki. Judges, like juries, are notoriously unpredictable.
Oh, but Judge Cameron did exactly what we expected him to.
Oh, well, Judge Cameron, if I may say so, is a Neanderthal. To him, administering justice means handing out jail sentences.
Well, then, the Court of Appeals might very well look kindly on me.
Well, I certainly hope so. When they get my brief for reversal against Cameron's heavy-handed treatment of you. Oh, that reminds me. I have a letter here for you from His Honor. Should I open it?
Yes, please. I think I know what it is, and I hope it's good news.
I'm afraid not, Vicki. Judge Cameron has denied your request. As long as you're confined here, there'll be no marriage to Clint.
Read the letter, please.
Dear Mrs. Riley, this is an answer to your letter requesting permission to be married while in legal custody. The nature and timing of that request suggests to me that it was made primarily for purposes of garnering publicity for your ill-conceived cause. That you are cloaking yourself in martyr's robes for the purpose of garnering notoriety for yourself and for the once proud newspaper of which you are the editor-publisher. I therefore deny your request on the grounds that it is meretricious and self-serving. If I have misjudged you, however, that is, if you are sincere about wanting to be married as soon as possible, then you know the remedy. Come before the grand jury. Answer the district attorney's questions fully and truthfully, thus purging yourself of contempt, and I will be happy to dismiss the citation against you. Truly yours, Haskell J. Cameron, Judge of the 3rd District Court.
Boy, he really let me have it, didn't he?
Much more than he needed to. A simple no would have sufficed.
Clint is coming here this afternoon. How on earth am I going to tell him?
You know, Vicki, if it really means that much to you, you know what you can always do as Judge Cameron suggests? I can notify him that you're ready to go back before the grand jury and name your informant in the hospital investigation. How about it? Say the word and I'll call him this morning. And about all I can tell you, Vicki. Now, the clerk of the Court of Appeals has asked me to be present at 2 o'clock this afternoon, which would indicate that they are prepared to hand down a decision in your case. But what that decision is going to be, oh, well, let's hope for the best.
Yes, of course.
Oh, Vicki, look, I really am optimistic. I mean, I can't imagine that an appellate court is going to ignore the First Amendment significance of your case. And
Excuse me, Judge. On what grounds did you deny Mrs. Riley's request?
Mr. Buchanan, he doesn't have to explain
It's all right,
anything
Deborah.
to you.
It's all right. I'd be glad to explain, if only to get rid of the gentleman.
Well, if you'd like to discuss this someplace more private, you
Why?
can say the word.
Why, my ruling will be public knowledge in a few hours anyway. I'm sure you'll see to that. You'll spread it all over that filthy rag you edit. Make me look like a cross between Ebenezer Scrooge and Attila the Hun.
I'm still waiting to hear your reason, Judge.
Please, Mr. Buchanan.
Don't think for a moment that I'm not aware of your true motives here, Buchanan. This marriage ploy of yours is nothing but a shoddy conspiracy. It's a fraud.
Conspiracy?
I doubt that you even intend to get married. Now, the two of you have hatched this plot in order to garner sympathetic publicity for Mrs. Riley, to force my hand on the district attorneys, and to intimidate us.
You think we're bluffing?
And I'm not at all surprised at your participation in such a tawdry scheme, but for a woman of Mrs. Riley's avowed character and reputation to stoop to something like this.
Judge Cameron, I think your point
Well,
is
obviously I was wrong. Now, obviously, Mrs. Riley is perfectly willing to play fast and loose with the honorable traditions of matrimony in order to grab headlines and gain momentary support.
That's about enough.
To undermine our system of justice. See, I will not be intimidated by you, Buchanan. You see, yeah, as far as I'm concerned, Mrs. Riley can rot in jail. In my opinion, she mocks the very name of womanhood.
Marie, what are you doing here? I wasn't expecting you till after 2 o'clock.
The Court of Appeals moved us up on the docket.
Did they make a decision? What is it? Am I free?
You Jailhouse made a decision? What is it? Am I free?
It's good news. They overruled Judge Cameron. You'll be out of here today.
Oh, I don't believe it. You know, when Cameron refused his permission to get married here, I was sure they'd turn me... Are you sure?
Vicki, you're a free woman.
I can see my children. And we can be married at home.
Oh, I'm sorry, Marie. I was to think I was never going to get out of here. It's been very depressing.
Well, it's over now.
Oh, gosh. At least for a while, anyway.
Oh, listen, I don't think the DA is going to pursue this case. I mean, Clint has made such an issue out of it. I think she's beginning to be afraid the whole thing may backfire on her. You know, she's up for re-election.
I hope you're right. When can I leave?
Well, as soon as the papers are processed, within the next 2 hours, I think.
Would you do something for me, please?
Of course.
Would you please call Clint and tell him the news, and then maybe he can come and pick me up?
Vicki, there is some bad news.
What?
Clint is in jail.
Vicki? I'm sorry. Really made a mess of it. You know what happened?
Yes.
You mad at me?
No, of course not. How could I be mad at you? It was a dumb thing to do, but you did it for me.
I couldn't help myself. It was just reflex action.
Oh, well, what now? I mean, how are we ever going to get rid of this wire thing between us?
Well, I should be out on bail sometime today as soon as Herb, fixes things up with Judge Simpson.
Simpson?
Yeah, why? You know him?
Oh, dear. Well, Simpson is one of Judge Cameron's closest friends. I don't think he's going to make it very easy for you.
So what can he do? I mean, so I slugged the judge. They can't deny me bail for that.
Maybe not. The problem is Judge Simpson doesn't have much of a sense of humor. I don't want to say anything, but maybe you should be prepared for the worst.
Still love me?
Sure.
Well, then I can handle it. Have I told you how beautiful you are?
Yes. Yeah. You also told me that I'm stubborn, I'm proud, I am icy, I'm cold, I'm...
No, stop. Listen, that was the ravings of a lunatic. That wasn't me. That was the ravings of someone mad with unrequited passion. From now on, it's beautiful, period. Been home yet?
No, I couldn't very well leave without seeing you. Marie fixed it for me.
Thank you. I know how much you must have wanted to rush home to the boys. I wish I could hold you. Well, you gonna tell the boys what happened?
No. I don't want them to think it's a normal thing for us to take turns in jail. Besides, now with Judge Simpson, I'm going to have to pull every string I can just to get you out of here.
Yeah, if that doesn't work.
You won't think about that.
Well, I just kind of like to know, for myself, that if we could get permission this time, would you still marry me in jail?
Yes, I'll marry you in jail. I'll marry you on the